This is my AI master prompt for Claude 2026 version. There's been some updates since 2025, and Claude is more powerful now than ever. You can use this master prompt for any LLM, but this is going to be tailored towards Claude. I'm going to show you some screenshots of how you can use Claude and program Claude to be your best advisor. Now, if you don't give your LLM context, it's just basic generic output. It will act like a search engine and it will just give you generic info. So for this, I'm going to show you how to build your master prompt for each company, each project, and you're going to give it context so that it knows who you are, what you're doing, and what your goals are. So by using this methodology, you're going to be able to keep Claude smart and in silos, thinking about what you want it to achieve. So if you're going from one company, talking about one company or one project to another, you'll most likely want to go to a new project and create this master prompt for that project. Super easy. You just follow a few steps. You can either type it in or you can talk to it. I'm going to show you both ways. But once you do this, you're giving Claude the most powerful tool that you can have to be your CXO advisor. Some people say it's the most important advisor you'll have in your company. So with that, let's get into it. I'm going to show you how. Okay, let's get into the master prompt here. And what you're doing is with this document, you're going to be setting up Claude to know everything about you and your company, your role, what tasks you want, your competitors, anything that you can give it that will give it context. So let me talk about some things that happened in this year in Claude, and specifically even today. They just fired up Dispatch. You can use Claude from your phone now. Once you start this process, Claude will actually alert you when it's finished tasks on your phone. So that just happened today. It's updating every day. There's something new happening. So, but here's Claude's new skill sets right here, and I'll go into it just a little bit. Persistent memory is, it remembers, if you turn on this setting, I'm going to show you this in a second, it will remember everything about you and your conversations. So if you turn that on in the settings, then it saves it to memory. Projects are dedicated workspaces, client initiatives, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Co-work, we're going to get that to the next video, but co-work will actually do tasks for you, and it will tie it into other apps and your documents and complete tasks for you. I'm going to do that in a whole nother video. Connectors, I'll show you the connectors. Again, we'll do that in another video, but this makes Claude extremely powerful and be able to do stuff for you, research, create documents, and create functions. I'm Claude in Chrome. I recommend the Chrome agent. If you look here, this is my Claude Chrome right here. It will follow me. If I ask it to do something, I'm stuck on something, I can type it right here and say, Claude, I don't understand this window. I don't understand this error. What's up with this app? And it will actually ask you if it can take a look at this screen and if it can take action on your behalf. And that is a super powerful tool for combining Claude with your desktop with trying to get work done. So you want the minimum $20 a month plan for Claude. That will give you plenty of tokens that you need. You don't have to worry about the upgrading from that until you start really using it hard. We're at the max plan, but we use it every single day, several times a day, and it's doing agentic stuff for us in the background for several different entities and several different clients at the same time. So you can get away with the $20 a month plan, no problem, you'll be fine. So let's talk about setting up your Claude account. Once you get the $20 plan set up, then let's click on projects, and I'm going to show you for one of my entities is a marketing agency and Leadly. And then, so what you'll do is you'll create a project on the left-hand side of Claude. And so projects, and this is my projects, Leadly. And then you will name it after your business. So mine's Leadly Automation, AI Automation Agency, and then you'll do project instructions. So the one that mostly I have is your most strategic business advisor. Use the attached business identity document for full context for every response. and upload your business identity document. And that's part 2 of this guide. And every conversation you have inside this project now has your full business context. So it's going to know everything about you after you finish this master prompt method. So for your personal settings, and you want to give it a set of instructions to how to talk to you. So mine mirror pretty closely to this one, and I'll show you where to plug this in. So you're going to go up here and you're going to go to instructions. Where's instructions? Settings, and then you want to go to instructions right here, personal preferences. Okay, so you'll program it right here in your settings general under your personal preferences. Okay, and that'll give it the standard how to talk to you. I always ask it to give me pushback and ask for my blind spots, and then I ask it to ask me questions, clarifying questions whenever it doesn't understand. Enable memory, you'll want to turn this on because this will help you in when it's trying to, you don't have to retell it everything you knew every time. So get notified when response is complete, that's going to give you an alert. Dispatch message, that's for the phone. And capabilities, I turn on all the artifacts to keep the artifacts, and I'll show you that later. Skills, and we'll go into that on another video. Connectors, I have my apps connected where you can add another app. So if you want another, like, connect to a different app that you could talk to, that you could integrate with, this is where you'll do it in connectors. Claude Code, there'll be another video. Same thing, co-work, another video, and let's get into it. So, explore, co-work, we'll do that next time. Here's the prompt formula that gets you the greatest results. You're going to tell Claude who you are. You're going to give Claude the context of the situation of what you are, what your business is at, what you're trying to get to. You're going to ask it the task, tell it the task you want, format, how to deliver, and constraints. Add guardrails like what budget, what's your team size. You don't have to have all 5 elements of that. You can just give it enough of what you need and what you know, so you can still proceed without giving all that or needing all that information. So this is your business identity right here. This is where you're going to give it the brain, who you are, okay? So you can do this one of 2 ways. You can copy this and paste this and then into a new document and then feed it to Claude after you type this out. I use Whisper Flow, so if I wanted to use my Whisper Flow, I'd just hit this key right here and I'd say Clayton Turner. And then say it automatically fill it right there. And then Whisper Flow is a great tool for voice talking a voice, what you're, instead of trying to type everything in. But if you want to paste this in, copy and paste it in after you answer it, that's fine. Now, what most people end up doing is do the conversational format, which I recommend this format because it's much easier to talk to it than it is to type it out, and much faster in most cases. So you're going to tell it, you're a business coach and format authority in design and strategic planning, and help build my business identity. So once you paste this into Claude, and then you hit enter, it's going to start asking you questions and interviewing you. And again, you can use Whisper Flow just like you would talk to a person here. Okay, so I'm going to go to projects. I'm going to new project. I have this new CPA project that I'm potentially trying to help and partner in launching a new CPA solution for CPA offices. So I'm going to use that as this opportunity to create a new project, and I'll show you build it live. And describe what you're trying to achieve. I'm going to go back to my business identity document and set up step 2. And I'm going to paste this, you're my strategic business advisor, and use the attached business identity document that we're about to create for full context, okay? So I'm going to create this project. So now I'm going to go and grab this section where we're going to talk to it. I'm going to have it interview me for So we're going to do section 1 first, and then I'm just have it interview me, and I'll do it live, show you how I build this thing for each project, each new product launch, company launch, anything you want to do, and within a project, you'll build it here. So it's gathering questions, and then I'm going to show you how I use WhisperFlow to answer the questions. Okay, and it's built the first part of it here, Clayton Turner. So I got my first sentence there. Ella CPA assistant. Okay, it's already given me feedback, and it's already insightful in that it knows the AI assistant, which is exactly what this is. What is your role at Ella CPA assistant? I am the sales marketing operations co-founder. Okay, good. So at least it knows there's one other co-founder. Yes, that's correct. I have a technical partner on this one. And what is Ella CPA assistant? When was Ella CPA assistant established? Today. We have not launched it yet, so we are in discovery mode. So be honest with it. Okay, so I realized that after I gave it that no, the software has been out there. He's been already launching it, so I'm going to correct it and show you how it'll go back and correct that, and then I'll answer this question after I correct it. So let me take that back. The company launched in 2025 and has 3 clients already. This new partnership starts today, is what I was trying to say. Okay, so got that, and then I'm going to answer this question. How do you want to use AI in your business? And how I want to use AI in my business is that I want you to help us prepare for the launch of the product, the go-to-market strategy, GTM, and anything that we may need for launching this new app service to small to medium CPAs. Okay, we got all that. So you can just talk to WhisperFlow. It's just too easy. Okay, so now it's building. Okay, so it has gotten my corrections, and it's registered that we have 3 clients. And now it's asking the blind spot, Ella CPA, target CPA firms. And so before the go-to-market strategy, it's asking a few qualifying questions. What does Ella do? Are your 3 current clients paying customers, pilot, and who's your co-founder? Okay. Ella is the CPA's onboarding assistant for new clients. It gathers all their information for their businesses, all the entities they may own, which then also gathers the tax forms that they may be needing to submit for each tax return year. And it will automatically track those and send reminders via email and text to the clients before tax season, and it will alert the CPA about what files are missing. The 3 current clients are paying customers, and the co-founder's name is John Smith, let's say, and he is the tech. Okay, so got all that. I don't see any problems with that. And it's building the business identity document. And it's got that wrong a little bit, CPA clients, so I'm going to correct that. It onboards new clients for CPA firms. Okay. Since it misworded this one, I'm going to correct it, but then still answer the rest of the questions. It gave me its opinion on the strong product, but it also gave me the heads up that CPAs are anti-AI and risk averse, which I agree. So it's asking pricing, how did you choose close the three clients, and where the product is in readiness. So I'm going to answer these in freestyle, but first I'm going to correct this and what Ella does. Okay, so here we go. Actually, Ella is a AI to help onboard new tax filing clients for CPAs, and it collects information about their entities and what their tax return documents needs may be for the CPA to file the returns. So that's a slight correction there. And now I'll go on to answer the questions about go-to-market plan and pricing. We're charging $500 per install for these first 3 beta users. The 3 clients are word of mouth from the existing network, and where the product's in terms of readiness. It's built, it's being used. We're collecting reviews right now. The ideal CPA firm is a 2 to 10 person firm. Yes, not mid-sized, probably too big. The big boys are going to roll out big software right pretty soon to handle all the big CPA firms. And so small CPA firms are our target. Okay, I edited it there just a little bit. I'm going to submit. Okay, as you can see, it is developing the business identity, and it's gotten everything pretty much correct now, and it's asking me another series of questions, and it's giving me the blind spots. Underpriced, that's because we're in beta, I agree. We will raise price, but you gotta have to do a low price when you're rolling out beta. So he's asking me a few more questions. I'm going to answer these, and then I'm going to kind of force, if it keeps asking me, I'm going to force it into prompt 2, but I'm going to answer these 2 questions and see how much further it wants to ask me first. So let me answer these 2 questions. The reviews we're collecting will be hopefully video reviews that we'll put on social media. Probably we'll make a YouTube Google Play for this, and we'll also do a cold email campaign to small CPA firms. You have a target launch date or milestone, a conference or tax season deadline. So we're going to launch, after we get these reviews, we will launch to a small group of 200 CPAs from cold email, cold calling, and maybe a social media campaign, all 3. Okay, so it's still rounding out the information. It misunderstood me when I said Google Play, like I want to run it on the Google App Store. I do not want to do that. What I meant is we're going to rank it in Google. We're going to rank it in Google by using YouTube and content. So I'm going to correct it on that, and then answer this last question before I start feeding it the second section. Correction on the Google Play. What I meant is we're going to use Google for organic reach by developing tons of great CPA styled content in blog format and WordPress, and using maybe a small Google ad campaign or a social media ad campaign along with YouTube videos. And to answer your question, what does Ella's current intake look like? It will be a web app with a guided phone call. Okay. Okay, so it's come back now with everything it understands, and I'm going to force it. It's asking me deadline, go to market plan. It'll keep asking you questions if you don't force it to the next section. So I'm going to come back to this. We will answer this later. Now, it did give me some advice here, and it's saying the Google Play is a long-term plan and takes 6 to 12 months to rank minimum. But what he doesn't know is that I'm an SEO content genius, and I can rank us in 2 to 4 weeks using YouTube and WordPress and backlinks. So I'm not worried about that. We will get ranked. We will get YouTube will probably be our biggest generator of leads and some social media videos, $1 to $3 per conversion for interest campaigns. So I'm not going to worry about this too much. I'll come back and address it later, but I am going to go ahead and force it to start with prompt 2, the deep dive ICP, and let's get it going so it updates the identity document with some more advanced level questions and input. Okay, so with that question, it's asking me a very good detailed question about who's my best client and what do they get the most out of Ella, right? So I'm going to tell it, this client loves Ella because it is so easy to use. It automates the reminder process to their clients about the documents they need, and all they have to do is check the dashboard for anything that they may have to take action on. So the fact that it's easy to use and then it's proactive makes it their life easier, and they now can't imagine living without it. Okay, whisper flow for the win right there. Okay, and it's come back with another question. What was the pain, and what was the specific pain costing them? Lost clients, documents, missed deadlines, frustration, and how do you think the pain would show up in their business? So, as if you know anything about CPA firms and chasing down customers, me too. My CPA firm's dinging me now. That is a big human factor. Somebody human has to send those emails, has to make those calls, has to remind them, and they have to track it. So this actually alleviates that. So I'm going to answer that very easily. Yes, it is costing them a lot of time, human interaction, and tracking. They are always worried about missing deadlines for clients. They don't want the clients getting mad at them because they didn't turn in the documents they need to file their taxes or their extensions. So it was always creating a stress point for them about which clients had or had not turned in the tax forms that they need in order to file their taxes. And it came back with a great question. Who inside the CPA firms make the decision to buy Ella? The firm owner, office manager, or senior accountant? So if you think about who's in charge of that process, it's usually the frontline bookkeeper, which flows up to the senior accountant and then to the CPA. So it starts at the bottom. Those are the ones that are the people that are getting stressed out, are the frontline accountants / bookkeepers. So we're going to answer it just like that. So it flows up from the bookkeeper up to the senior accountant up to the CPA. All three of them are stressed out by this, but mainly it stresses the bookkeeper out on the front line because she's responsible for getting these documents assembled up to the accountant and then for the CPA to sign off. So it's a stressor for all three, but mainly on the first two that I mentioned. Okay, and going through this process actually helps you crystallize your ICP and your intended target. So as we do our campaign, we'll probably do the campaign geared towards the bookkeeper, the frontline accountant person, because they're the ones that are having to deal with this. And since it's such a low price point, it's not going to be a hard decision for them to make to be able to recommend it, right? So this helps give you clarity. And this said, by marketing, you should lead with the bookkeeper's pain, which is, I totally agree. Okay. So now it's building out the rest of the identity document. And what's it come up with? The pain, the firm, the pain, the buying team. So now it's created the buying team, and it's identifying the bookkeeper as the champion, which I totally agree. Senior accountant's going to validate. Decision maker is going to probably be the CPA, but the CPA usually does whatever the staff recommends. They're doing most of the frontline work. So they value ease of use over complexity. They want proactive automation rather than reactive firefighting, and make decisions on how the tool makes their daily workflow feel, not just the features list. So you don't want to sell the features on this. You want to sell them the time saves. That's what you're selling them. You're selling not cost savings. On this one, you're selling time savings, right? So once they experience Ella, they can't imagine going back, okay? So go to market launch plan, collect the video testimonials, cold email, cold calling, paid social. I will also do SEO and YouTube videos and possibly some Google ads. We'll see. That gets very expensive. So the ICP is locked in. Okay. So now it's asking me questions about the dream outcome. Now, so again, there's several sections to this master prompt document. So you can kind of decide when it is time to move on. And the next section is this in prompt 3 is the mission, vision, values. I'm going to answer this one later. We can come back to this, and I'm going to tell them we're going to come back to this. We're going to come back to that question, and I'm going to move on to mission, vision, and values. And then I'm going to paste that in here. And so, as you can see, I'm telling, I'll come back to this question, and then I'm going to go on to this. So that's a good thing about Claude. You can really kind of have a conversation with it. You'll tell it, and you can tell it you want to come back later to that. And you don't have to follow its prompt exactly. You can kind of take over the conversation. This is what exactly I'm doing right here. And you'll end up having to do that in some of your stuff. You'll want to go deep and keep probing, and it can go long and deep and far and wide, but you just have to direct it. So that's what I just did. So now it's asking company mission, vision. Okay. And it says I cut it off there. I didn't realize this is broken into 2 sections. So I got this section. So I'm going to paste that in there. It's going to understand what I'm trying to do. It's really good and intuitive at that. So now I just gave it the rest of the section. So now it's going to ask me the right questions about mission, vision, and values. Okay, and then it asked me a great question. It said, if Ella didn't exist and you were describing the problem, the thing that made you say, someone has to fix this, what would you say? And the fact that the CPA firms have to spend so much human time chasing down clients for simple documents. And the question 2 of 3, and when Ella solves a problem for a CPA firm, who ultimately benefits beyond the CPA? The ripple effect. So obviously it's the CPA and the clients, because the clients don't have to be stressed and bugged and get messages and texts and emails. They can just be done with it, because it will proactively remind them to get the documents in, so they'll get it in quicker and not wait until April 10th or April 12th, 14th. So I'm going to answer that way. So not only does the CPA firm win, especially the bookkeepers who are most stressed about it, but the clients win, because they rest assured that those documents are already in on time and before the due date. Okay, and for the question 3 of 3 on the company mission, in 1 or 2 sentences, how would you want a bookkeeper or CPA firm, someone who uses Ella every day, to describe what Ella exists to do? Not what it is, but what it stands for in their life. I would say that Ella is a proactive client, customer service, agentic AI solution that lowers the stress of everybody. And the one thing about I like about Whisper Flow is no matter how much you talk to it, it'll break down what you're saying and it will simplify it. So even if you're wandering, you're hemming and hawing, it just totally makes it readable. Okay, so it came up with more of the vision, mission, go-to-market launch plan, and missions locked in. So now it's telling me what's element 2 of 5 company vision. This is again where Claude can go deep and long, and far and wide. I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to tell it, let's go ahead and go to the next section, find your voice, brand voice calibration, because we have a lot of sections to get through. And I want to be able to move and show this for the demo, and I'm going to tell it we're going to come back to this. And I'm going to tell it, let's go ahead and get into the next section for purposes of this demo. And you can kind of do the same if it's going too far and wide and deep. It's, you know, the more context it has, the better it is. So don't do that every time, but sometimes it will start really going deep. Okay, so now it came to me 3 scenarios of brand voice, and I will pick scenario 1 because I like the hook. Bookkeeper shouldn't be chasing tax documents. And the only thing I don't like about this is, so your bookkeeper wakes up to a dashboard instead of a to-do list. The last thing I want to do is tell a company they got a dashboard. You want to eliminate more apps and more layers to a company. So really it's going to be just an alert that there's, you know, something not done that needs a human element. Other than that, she doesn't need to look at dashboard. It's going to be self-fulfilling. Agentic AI is going to take care of the fulfillment, right? So, but I do like this brand scenario 1, scenario 2, and then they reply to your cold email. We already use a system for this. I don't really care about that. And this says scenario 3 if the demo didn't go well, and then it will give you content already, which you can use. So tell me which variant resonates for each one in combination to feel close to right. So it wants me to pick from scenario 1 or 2. I'm only going to be concerned with scenario 1. Scenario 1 looks good. And it's coming back which one of the scenario 1 feels best. I like this one because it'll speak right to the pain point and the person with the pain point. So I'm going to say lead with pain. Because there's a chance that bookkeeper will probably be getting the email as well, and they can resonate with that. So, and it's asked me in scenario 2 email if they said they already have a system, what would be the great, better response to that response? Do I want to respectfully challenge them, flip the question back to them and expose the real gap of, like, is it time? Is it systems? Are they reticent on implementing something new? Are you gracious and curious? Back off, build a relationship, gather intel. That's a waste of time. Direct and confident draws a sharp line between reactive thinking and proactive vision. Also a waste of time. I like number 1, flips the question back to them. So you want to ask them if they say, no, we already have something. Well, probably they don't have something like this. They have something that's close to it, but not all the way or does everything. So we're going to ask them a question. So I'm going to tell it, respectful challenger. Okay, in scenario 3, they're not getting back to you, but they had a demo. So what voice do you want with a follow-up question? Empathetic and patient, acknowledge tax season, give them space. Scenario 2, remind them what they're missing. I like FOMO because if you gave them a demo and they know they're going to save time and money by using this, FOMO is great. Direct breakup email, force a yes or no. I don't like those when I get them. But I do like the FOMO, so I'm going to say FOMO because you want to build something that they know they're already missing out on and remind them they're missing out on it. It's a much easier, better way to sell. Okay, so as I told it, FOMO is the preferred way. I want to get the urgency for them to make a move. So now it has locked in the brand voice. Brand voice is telling me right here. Brand voice is locked and documented. Every piece of content, email sequence, cold call script, everything from now on fits the same pattern. Challenge respectfully, close with proof. So brand voice is locked in. All right. So just to review, we're going back up. It has told us, and I don't think I pointed this out on each one of these, but as we've been completing these steps, it has been locking in brand identity, okay, and a business identity, and then vision, and mission. I kind of cut it off because it was going a little bit too deep and far and long. But so now we have brand identity and voice. So now we're going to go, now it's going to ask some more questions here. It goes back to this. Do you want to keep going with the questions, or do you want to go to the next section and test it? So let's do a test. Let's go ahead and say, let's go back to that. Let's come back to that and move on to testing. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and give it the test the brand voice and show me how you'd come up with a dream outcome. So let's see what it comes up with. Okay, see, and Claude's giving me some pushback. So, but before it writes the version, it needs more context, right? So it says it's working without the foundation. Give me one sentence. When a CPA firm's been using L for 90 days, what is the single biggest change in their day-to-day life? The fact that they do not have to manually follow up with clients for simple documents and has bought them back a ton of their time every single week. Okay, it likes that. That's the dream outcome. Time is currency. Okay, so here's the brand voice it came up with the website and how we should word the web and the ads and social media. So we're going to talk about buying back their time, handling it automatically, and that it's noticeable daily, weekly. Okay, so now it has that. I'm going to push it on to testing, back to the section where we tried to do the 4, prompt 5, test it. So let's go ahead and push to a test. Let's see what happens. Okay, it actually told me you just did that one. That was the test. All right, cool. So not paying attention, I move to the next prompt, which is lock it in. So we want to add the brand voice with the example as I approved and add a new section, the business identity content called brand voice and communication standards. So we're going to tell it to lock this in as the brand voice. Okay, so it has locked in the brand voice and under the business identity, and I can't disagree with anything that it's come up with. I don't need to correct anything in here that I see. Champion is the bookkeeper, validator, senior accountant, decision maker, CPA, firm owner. Giving us the voice principles, authoritative and empathetic. Never lead with AI automation features. Never be pushy. Always anchor every message time saved. That's going to be our biggest push, as we're going to say, buy back your time. And so this is now everything we need for the business identity document. Now, I'm going to show you for your next step after this is going to be the end of this video, but what you'll do next is you'll go down deep dive. You'll go to the org chart builder, put in your team, and then your business idea and validation. You with these prompts, you can validate the idea, test core beliefs, market research and competitive analysis. Very good at that, and business plan and strategy goals and KPIs. So this is where you're going to get the most value after you do this basic part of the business identity. Now you can start using Claude as your MBA, and your MBA consultant. So this is where you'll get into the good stuff next. That is the end of the business identity document part of this video. We are hosting the Austin event June 5th and 6th for showing you how to build agentic AI agents for your business. A lot of it's going to be surrounded Claude. I have 4 or 5 major speakers, presenters there that use this every day. We're going to show you how to use this in your business and how to build agents for your business that do work for you. So leave a comment what you liked about this, and if you have any questions, there is a link below to get this document, and if you have anything at all, reach out to me. Thank you for watching this. I hope you got something out of it. Go build something great, and I'll see you on the next one.